Good morning, everybody. My name is Troy. Welcome to today's Wednesday webinar. Before we get started, I'd like to just do some quick housekeeping. On the right-hand side is a chat pod. If you could please type in if you could hear me, that would be great. Thanks, Melissa. Thanks, William. Thanks, Darren. Well, good morning. Welcome to today's webinar. Today we are joined by Heritage Line. We have Andreas, the Director of Sales and Marketing, live from Ho Chi Minh City, joining us today. Heritage Line offer luxury ships on Southeast Asia's waterways. We previously ran a webinar earlier this year focusing on the Myanmar rivers. I will post a link into the chat pod shortly with a recorded version if you missed that webinar. Today's webinar, however, will focus on the Mekong river cruising and some other products that Heritage Line are offering. Throughout the webinar, if you do have any questions, please feel free to pop them into the chat pod. We'll come back to them at the end. Additionally, throughout the webinar, I'll be sharing some links and a PDF. You will see that pop up on your screen. Feel free to download those. If you do forget them, however, we'll follow up at the end via email with you, so you have those downloads and links. Without further ado, I'll hand over to Andreas.
Hello and good morning from Ho Chi Minh City, Saigon. My name is Andreas. Vietnamese call me Andy, it's easier to pronounce. So I'm, as Troy mentioned, I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing. I hope you can hear me. And if there's anything with the connection, I'm too fast, kindly use the chat box and drop me a message. We'll take around 30 minutes to present you our Mekong cruise with our Mekong vessels. And let me start quickly, introduce myself. 1 minute, I work for Heritage Line now almost 6 years. You will see one vessel I introduced, the Chahan, which I built together with former CEO here in Saigon. So blood, sweat is into that ship, and really a lot of passion as well. So the Mekong is actually Heritage Line, starting. We start on the Mekong with our company, and that's also where our first ship was launched. And you see here our collection. Meanwhile, we grow, and we'll have by early next year, mid next year, 7 ships. We're launching one in August next year. This is the Ilang. That is a wonderful 10-suite ship for Halong Bay or Lan Ha Bay. This is the new quiet area, Lan Ha Bay. So we cover this new destination, Lan Ha, in North Vietnam, with a dedicated 2-night cruise with Ilang, and as well we offer a 1-night cruise on Ginger in that destination. Besides Violet and Jasmine, our Halong Bay cruises, traditional Indo-Xinjiang. That's for the northern part, Halong Bay, where you see here a photo. Then a bit of an outlook. Ilang will go on sales by end of this month, so we will update you guys whether you book directly or with the DMC or wholesaler. Should have rates and everything available, and we will also include you in our news. And then by January 2020 we will go into Laos. You see the ship name Anu Vong here. That will be a boat on the upper Mekong, 10 suites luxury cruise vessel connecting the Golden Triangle area on the Mekong River with Luang Prabang. We will cruise in both directions here, and we will have also some longer cruises connecting the Golden Triangle with Vientiane in Laos. So we're very exciting about that new product. So we expand our collection. We call ourselves collectors. That are our brand values: collector, artisan, host. So we want to offer a collection of vessels, of boats, of homes. People can stay with us and they enter a world which is really wonderfully designed. So that's, I think, across Southeast Asia, probably uh, the most unique USP of Heritage Line is our design. So what we pay attention into design and living, that's extraordinary. Be it the design itself, materials, furnishing, themes on board. So that is something really unique. The artisan part of our values is the way we comprise our journeys. So it's always a medley of experiences where we mostly try to be unique. In Lanha Bay, we're very unrivaled. We offer, I think, cruises no one else is able to offer. Cruise itineraries you won't find in the market. So on the Mekong itself, we also have here and there certain ports of calls and excursion where we have our unique experience placed. And probably the biggest asset we have is our people on the ship. So especially on the Mekong, I would say our staff on board in the F&B and the housekeeping makes such a difference. And we have a lot of Australian guests, and they fell all in love, I would say, with our guests. And that's the three brand values quickly to explain. So where we are in Indochina, as mentioned, we are in Myanmar on the two rivers Irrawaddy and Chindwin. We are in North Vietnam, in Halong Bay and Lanha Bay, two bays, same but different. Halong Bay, the popular destination from the name, the UNESCO World Heritage Site. Lanha Bay is embedded in Halong Bay, but it's much less visited by overnight vessels. I think only 2025. In Halong Bay you have over 100 overnight vessels. So it's a new destination now. And then we cruise on the Mekong, of course, and as I mentioned, we're going into Laos 2020 on the Upper Mekong. So the Mekong, some of you might have visited that destination, but to me personally, the lower Mekong, Cambodia, Vietnam, is the most fascinating and various river, I would say, in Southeast Asia. Not that our other rivers are not interesting, but what you see along that river stretch is a daily adventure. So every day there is something different to discover, and that makes that river really very interesting. And to cruise it on a full length would be probably the best choice. Coming to our programs, and I will display or explain you the cruises a bit on that map. You see the Mekong is upside down, north is on the right, south where it comes into the East Sea and the Mekong Delta is on the left, and the river flows coming here from Laos, going down to the Mekong Delta. We have a 7-night trip that's called the Lost Civilization. It's connecting Saigon and Siem Reap. We're departing every Saturday, have 2 vessels, so we have every Saturday 2 departures, either in Siem Reap or in Ho Chi Minh City, and both cruises go in both directions, up and downstream. Then we have shorter cruise options, which are embedded in the 7 nights, so you can hop on, hop off. So, and the cruise is divided in Phnom Penh is basically the middle. So you can start from Ho Chi Minh City, cruise to Phnom Penh. That's our Pearl of the Orient 3-night up or downstream, or you can only discover the Cambodian part, Siem Reap to Phnom Penh, up or downstream. These two cruises, yeah, we offer also all year around, but in our high season month, I would say mid-October, November, January, February, we have quite limited availability on the long cruise, which I definitely recommend the Mekong River to discover this full section of the Mekong, the lower Mekong. What you see, I will explain a bit more on this map and later show you some photos for some visual understanding, but how the cruise works, because you also need to consider low and high water, which is basically opposite to low and high season. But the cruise covers the Mekong River until here, but also covers the Tonle River, which is a very fascinating area in Cambodia. During high water, which happens in low season, that's July, August, September, high water we have probably until end of October. So yeah, August, September, October, mid-November, 3.5 months is high water. That's the time we can cross the lake here. All the other departures from November until April, we have a transfer to the Mekong River 4 hours to and from the Mekong to reach the embarkation port. So there is a transfer. I said in summertime we cross the lake, and then it's a fascinating cruise during June, July, August, September, October. So we're going through the Mekong Delta on an upstream cruise, stopping in Kai Bay, which is floating market. You see handicrafts. We're stopping in Bintan Island, where you see a local village on an island where they grow water hyacinths, where they produce something with that natural material. We continue reaching the border, which is a city called Tan Chau, where we learn about fish farming here. This town is very popular, or this area, for fish farming. We also will do kind of a rickshaw excursion into a market. So that's a very remote town, less visited on land. So it's mainly visited on the via the river. So here we have the Mekong Delta with 3-4 excursion covered, various impressions every day, and it's a vibrant, Mekong Delta is very vibrant with always action on the river, barges, people transporting goods, etc. Then we're crossing the border, and we have on the upstream a very long afternoon cruise reaching Phnom Penh on Monday very late, I would say 9 p.m. We reach Phnom Penh. On that's basically the highway. People can enjoy really the cruise. You enjoy the facilities on board, relax, watch the river live, watch the offshore life on shore, and relax. Then in Phnom Penh we dock. Meanwhile, the other boat arrives as well from downstream. So both ships will dock in Phnom Penh. In Phnom Penh, we have a full day city discovery on a Tuesday. So people go out, they discover all the cultural highlights in the city. They have lunch in the city in the afternoon, and they return to the ship in the later afternoon. In the evening, both ships have some entertainment on board. We will do a Apsara dance show and a bit more cultural presentation, as well as a barbecue dinner on board. Most ships will have that event on board. So, and then Phnom Penh, high water, low water has no effect on the Mekong Delta cruise, but on the upper. So in high water, we would cruise first into the Mekong River before we turn around and going into the Tonle River, crossing the lake. In low water, we're going first into the Tonle River, approximately until here. Further we cannot, it's too low, the water. We turn around and we going into the Mekong River and embark at Kampong Jam and transfer then to Siem Reap. That's the only difference. So we offer then basically with a 7-night the same program all year around, except a lake crossing. So we offer the Tonle region with sightseeing, we offer the Mekong, and there's almost no difference between a high and low water program. And one thing which is Heritage Line special, we include always that Tonle section, which is my favorite area on that cruise. So explaining you the high water cruise upstream. So we're leaving Phnom Penh, we're entering the Mekong, we discover that area. We have 3 excursions here, I think, if not 4. So we discover Kampong Jam and Angkor Ban. That is an area which is famous for some pre-Angkorian temples. So little small temples, temple complexes, hilltop temples. We meet monks coming on board. We have a monk blessing here. Whenever possible, we have also some relaxing sandbank cocktail parties. That's a very nice area. Behind the temple complex Angkor Ban, we also do a walking tour into a local Cambodian village where we meet locals, where we can see how they live with their families. It's also very personal in that little village here. We're learning about silk production, so there is a very dedicated area for Cambodian silk production. So from the little silkworm to the final silk product, be it a scarf, whatever. Cambodian silk is quite famous in that area, so that's also what we discover on the Mekong section in Cambodia. And then we enter the Tonle River. That's where we enter a water world. And this is I would say, a off the beaten track area still, not too much visited still. When it's high water, it's amazing. Everything is underwater, and we have 2 wonderful excursions here. One in Kampong Cholak, so where our people discover the scenery or landscape inland with ox cart. We visit a very local school inland, which we build, which we fundraise with National Geographics to offer education to that remote areas. So we see what we're doing here, but the ox cart drive through the rice fields is amazing. Then we're going to another little town called Kampong Chnang. So for you it may sound totally unfamiliar, but in Cambodia that's the Sydney, I would say, very well known little town for pottery production, so clay pots. So they produce a lot of every little village around Kampong Chnang has some clay pottery production there. They also produce palm sugar, so we see how they're doing that, and various other local products. And also Kampong Chnang is a very rustic town on the river, where we can go through markets and see the real Cambodia in that area. And then we're crossing to Siem Reap, and after 7 nights, 8 days, we arrived in the final destination. Our cruise have everything included. Even drink packages are included with soft drinks, coffee, etc., beer and wine for meals. We have transfers to the ship, from the ship included, so your guests would have nothing to worry, everything is in. So now I will show you some photos, which I go through a little bit quicker, just to give you some impressions on that cruise, what you see, what you get, and then we go to the ships. That's the Mekong Delta, very vibrant, people producing, carrying, transporting, mat weaving, fish farming I mentioned. So local floating markets here. In Phnom Penh, of course, we have the highlights, the Royal Palace. In the back you see the Silver Pagoda, museums, as well, a bit of a history, the killing fields, Khmer Rouge decade. And then I mentioned the silk farm. So local woman here produced the silk thread and also weaving certain products. That is the Mekong with its pre-Angkorian heritage. A very nice little temple complex, Wat Han Che, on a hilltop with nice views, monks around. So it's very charming. It's very relaxing. It's spiritual. A nice area. Then the water world of the Tonle River, where you see also floating fishing village communities. But as I said, that's the area where pottery production is quite famous, as well as palm sugar harvesting, and they also produce other goods there. That's another photo before we crossing the lake. So that water world is absolutely amazing. And then in high water, from July to end of October, we crossing the lake. When I'm too quick with the slides, please just drop me a chat message. So then we coming to our two boats. So you see here the Chahan. The name sounds Indian, and as you see, our Chahan is also a themed vessel. It carries a British Indian colonial design, which is extraordinary on that river, but has definitely history, because Cambodia and the Indian seafarers, they left a lot of Indian culture in the country, and we paired it with some British understatement. So the boat has 3 decks, mainly 2 cabin decks, where we host Superior, Deluxe, and 2 different suite categories, Signature Suite and Noble Suites. We have a lounge in back, we have a little gym, we have a little steam bath here, and the top deck, that's probably the starlet of the Chahan, where everything is located, from a nice restaurant or dining room, an outdoor bar, and a lounge. We have a pool on board, we have spa, and we have here a little observatory lounge. I see one question. I would reply questions later after we've through that. So we have the largest suites on the river. You see here Superior cabin, which come with 30 square meter inclusive balcony. All our ships have balconies, so we have also balcony. You see it in the back. The Deluxe is 1 level higher, but have the same layout. You see like the bedroom, you see through the window, we have the balcony, a little lounge where the photograph is taken from, with that makeup table. As well, we have large bathroom with walk-in shower in the Superior and Deluxe, which sit on 2 different levels and have 2 different kind of designs. So here you see our suites. That's the suite level. The entry suite is a Signature Suite. They come in that indigo blue, cream white finishing, with a large balcony, also a large bathroom. And of course, 2 54 square meter suites. One is dedicated to Lord Byron. And another one we have the Taj, that's the Indian suite, which includes a salon in the back. The Indian suite has 2 large balconies. One is here in front of the bedroom area. The other one we see here in the bathroom, where it is where we have a jacuzzi on the bathroom. It also has a shower included, and the suites have quite some complimentary beds included, like private candlelight dinner. We have a butler for them, spa is included, etc. Jahan is also a ship which we could say it's a bit like a resort. So you have space in the public areas. We see here our open bar, which is surrounded with the open lounge. In the back, we enter to the restaurant or downstairs to the lounge. In front of the bar, we have attached that pool area with a sun deck. Behind, you see the spa, the restaurant, where we offer buffet, but also menu courses. Our indoor lounge, we have 2. Later we see the observatory, but that's the indoor lounge, where we do have all our briefings, our lectures, cultural demonstration, evening cinema. So in this lounge, we have all the activities to entertain our guests on board. Our spa, we have 2 spa rooms on Jahan, as well as a compartment for foot massage and pedicure, manicure. This is attached to our in-room lounge called Observatory Lounge, which is used for private dining, which is also used during the daytime by our guests when they want to play jazz or just relax from sunbathing or coming from the spa and want to enjoy some downtime here. So then our second ship, that's the father of our fleet, the Jayavarman. You see him from the outside. Many people say, it looks a bit like a ferry, which, okay, can agree. But Jayavarman actually is a little floating art gallery. So from the inside, you will immediately see it's a different story. While Jahan was British colonial, Jayavarman is French colonial Khmer. So it carries Indochina on the ship. You see here, this is the superior room. We have here 24 square meter, also with balcony, coming in that lighter, a little bit French Art Deco design. While on the higher level, the deluxe, they carry that Indochine Khmer design on board. You see the boat facing the balcony. We also have others. We have twin options. We have connecting rooms as well on both ships. The Jayavarman has 2 suites. Jahan, you remember, has 6 suites with 2 top suites, 54, and Jayavarman has 2 suites, but also we designed 2 different suites, signature suites. One is dedicated to the last emperor of Vietnam, the Bao Dai signature suite. You see from the decoration, it has dragons in the back, so a bit Vietnamese style. And of course, a Jayavarman suite, which is dedicated to King Jayavarman, the God King, the most renowned ruler of the Cambodian Empire. And as I said, on board, floating art gallery. So what you find in all the hallways, public areas, is a lot of art, artifacts, sculptures, paintings, etc. And people, they wander through the ship and then they discover a bit like a museum. So everywhere we have this kind of decoration, decorative items. Jayavarman has also 2 cabin decks, but Jayavarman has, compared to Jahan, 1 deck more because it's a complete pool deck. So here guests go up from the public deck which is called Terrace Deck, including bar, restaurant, and it's going then one level up to the sun deck, where we have a full pool sun deck available. So that's almost 360-degree views on the scenery from here. The restaurant we see here, different design, different approach compared to Jahan. It has a bit that brasserie style, French Indochina. Our food on both on our vessels is the same. We have a head chef who is designing the menus. We serve buffet for breakfast and lunch, and we serve in the evening a la carte menu with choices. Food is also an important part during the whole day. We offer cannabis tastings, fruit tastings, etc. We have also a strong influence on the Vietnamese and Cambodian cuisine, but offer, of course, international and fusion cuisine as well. Entertainment on board. So every day we basically have 2 excursions. A morning, afternoon will take around 1.5 to 2 hours. In Phnom Penh we're out almost all day. But besides that, when people on board, we have also different activities. Be it a cooking class together. Evening, if they want, they can join a cinema. We have an Apsara event in Phnom Penh, as I mentioned. It's really fantastic how that ladies and gentlemen there perform this traditional dance. We have a barbecue event. We're doing every morning some exercises with our guests. Tai Chi is offered. Of course, spa. Then you have lectures, other demonstration. We have in Phnom Penh, for example, as well, an absolutely amazing lecture by a French professor who is living and teaching at the university in Phnom Penh and coming on board and giving a 1.5 hour lecture about Cambodian history and architecture. And it's amazing and super interesting. So more entertainment. I often think we have too much entertainment on board because the cruising time, now we have balconies, we have nice public facilities to really enjoy the river life and the views from the river. Suites, here just a photo. We can do in-room dining. It's also included a candlelight dinner in our observatory, but in-room dining is possible. On the Jahan, as has larger cabins, we can arrange breakfast on the balcony or in-room breakfast, etc. So at the end, quickly highlighting some why we are so unique. So I think the first thing is the design. I think you would hardly find a cruise which pay that much attention to design in the facilities, in the rooms, in the selection of decoration of items. I'm in Vietnam 9 years, monitoring the cruise market. I don't see that. So that is, I think, something people enter the world, and I think it contributes to their recreation, to their holiday. They take something back. So from the travel experience, I explained our cruises highlights. We have a very high staff guest ratio. We discover all year around the Tonle River. That's also Heritage Line, quite unique. We travel slow paced. We have amazing lectures by our professor, which not many offer. I think one more cruise line has that. We have the largest suites on the river. We have one of the largest public facilities, pool, for example, and in-room lounges. So we position us in the top end, luxury, and I think also our rates in that segment are quite reasonable. comparing, if I may say, with a scenic or with the aqua. I would say compared with the aqua, we offer a different, but in some cases, the better product for a much lower price. We will send you that presentation, Joy or me or myself. You see here also an overview we have on the website. You see the link to our download section, all collaterals, image brochures, departure files, complementary or important collaterals you find in our download section to familiarize further with our products. A little bit of an outlook. We're working on a complete new website which will have a login function for our partners, for our resellers, where they find easier information, photos, etc. We have photos on Google Drive. A link will also be sent to you. But that's something to tell you that we have working on a very new website. That is it. I hope I was not too fast, and kindly let me know your questions, and I would give back the word to Troy then. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Andreas, for a wonderful presentation. We'll just hang around for a couple of moments to see if anybody does have any questions. I can see Eleanor and William typing away. So we'll just monitor that for a couple of moments. As Andy mentioned, I'll be sending out an email shortly once we've wrapped up with a link to the recorded webinar and also the links that we've shared throughout today's webinar. As mentioned, we'll just hang around for a couple of moments, see if anybody has any questions. Feel free to pop those into the chat pod. Thank you for taking time out of your day this morning to join us.
We also have a video on our website if you want to have a look here, so you get some impressions from the river life.
Doesn't appear we have any questions coming through, but as I mentioned, I'll send out an email very shortly. If you do have any questions, anything that pops up, feel free to reply to my email, and I'll forward that on to Heritage Line. Thank you again for attending. I hope you have a wonderful day.